At the end of this May, commentary YouTuber and proclaimed podcaster Cody Ko experienced an abrupt halt to the trajectory of his career when another YouTuber and podcaster, Tana Mongeau, reminded her audience during a live recording that Cody and her had hooked up at the beginning of her rise to internet fame when Cody was 25 and Tana was only 17, which is obviously a problematic age gap for romantic partners pretty much everywhere in American culture outside of pre-colonial villages in the 1700s and any Disney princess movie that came out in the 1990s for some reason. Ariel was only 16 and had literally no voice, yet she was riding alone in a rowboat with Prince Eric, who had full-on chest hair and absolute authority over an entire kingdom. Seems like kind of an unequal power dynamic to me, but then again, I've done pretty unsafe things as well in my effort to expand the collection of rusty forks that I keep in a cave. I know how that sounds, but it all made sense when familial DNA revealed that I am 40% bridge troll, which I think also explains why sometimes I'm really into ugly guys, but I am not into slick looking quick talkers who are ugly on the inside. And that's what I believe the case is here with Cody Ko. Ever since the internet started pouring over his past collaborations and content, especially that which featured the then underage Tana Mongeau. Because while people sort of knew about this inappropriate pairing as it happened and over the years, it all started in 2016. That was well before the culture started canceling, and when both creators were less well known. Cody was still trying to find his post-Vine fan base, and Tana was still trying to find a hair colorist who didn't secretly hate her. And it's a unique situation because by the time this firestorm started, Tana relayed this information while also saying that she's still friends with Cody Ko. She doesn't want to pursue legal action for this, even if she could, and she doesn't see herself as a victim of what he did, but she does still want to hold him accountable, and I think the society that we live in accountable for what happened. So this conversation has a lot of layers and nuance, unlike Tana's blonde hair at the time. But forget about that, because today we're here to talk about Cody. The Dick du jour from Duke University. We'll drill down on his past and dredge up the dreadful deeds that he did. I wonder if compulsive alliteration is another hereditary troll trait. Lots of unanswerable questions today on this 20-something with troublesome tastes installment of Clip Breakdown. Hello television viewers, my name is Nick. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel for another installment of Clip Breakdown. This is the playlist where we dive into our favorite movies, TV movies, and other such content here on the web, and we break into it like the case files from your college years to see what kind of weird shit you did with your sexual life. That sounds more threatening than it needed to. We're not doing that to you at home. Rest assured, I don't even think I know you, unless I do, in which case, give me a call, because I need some help moving some furniture. But before we get into any of this, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. That way I know that you want to see even more influencer news like this broken down on the show. But most importantly, if you're new here, or if you've been watching for a while yet remain unsubscribed for some so silly reason, make sure you hit that subscribe button right over here. That way you'll always be the first to know when I upload a new video. It's been 2 weeks, I think, since I've uploaded a video, and I'm so sorry. It's not my intention to be so spotty or inconsistent. I was going through it. It's not anything to do with not loving this job, because I'm obsessed with getting to sit down and talk about this stuff with you. It was a personal thing. I'm going through something separately from this, but hey, it's not like I've been doing nothing. You'll notice I also have new merch available. This is the new Toast the Pomeranian trucker hat, which you can get on my newly redesigned website, nickdiramio.com. Girl, I've branded the out of that thing. My name is on the inside tags of the t-shirts, lower prices, better quality all throughout. You'll also get to see my new logo. I wanted something that was a little more universal than the television set that I will use as the logo here for Clip Breakdown. But for Nick DiRamio, the brand, you'll have this watchful eye, which represents the spiral is like the 3D glasses from my first piece of merch where we're hypnotized by television, but also we are the watcher, watching all of this content and keeping an eye on everything. The logo stuff will be coming out in the future, but Toast is back up there now, Queer Collection is still up there, and there'll be more rolling out pretty much every week through holidays. Like I said, I haven't been doing nothing, I've just been on my e-commerce kick. Anyway, I feel like this chair is really squeaky today. I don't want another pretty face. I don't want just anyone to hold. I don't want my love to go to waste. I just want you and your beautiful soul. Oh, oh, beautiful soul. You. Why did I sing it that way? I gotta just move on. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. I'm going to LA after this because I'm shooting a podcast tomorrow. I can't wait to speak with them about whatever the topic is. And if you have a podcast, let me know. I have my assistant reading all the comments and DMs. His name's Archie. He's amazing. So I'm fully open to those opportunities and I'm ready to receive that incoming transmission from you. But we're here to talk about Cody Ko, as I said. And as I also said, this all kicked off on Tana's podcast canceled, fittingly enough, because she got Cody Cody Ko canceled, and then shortly after that, her co-host Brooke got canceled for past tweets, and then shortly after that, Tana is kind of canceled for the 8th time of her life because of the way she responded to that cancellation of her co-host, as though she has never been canceled for equally as bad racist things. So it's a lot. It's a lot going on. There's an interweb woven of cancellations, and none of them are canceling the sitcoms that they have on CBS. So that's like what the real issue for me is. I do vaguely recall watching, I was an avid watcher of YouTube at the time in 2016. That's when I started this channel, but I don't think I had more than 8,000 maybe followers by the end of my 4th year doing it. So it was a long haul to get to that first 10,000 subscribers, and I was obsessively watching YouTube at the time to try to understand what the kids were into. And then I seem to have done the exact opposite most of the time, but eventually we found our footing. So it's neither here nor there. Tana was all over the place at the time. She was blowing up. I knew she was like just out of or just finishing high school, some kind of teenager with a free spirit, I will say, that lived in Las Vegas, and I could see why people loved her. She was kind of the anti-influencer with her story times. She was not super brand safe. She was not looking to be brand safe, and feels very authentic, and that's been her kind of throughout, to the point where it's like she flip-flops on certain things, and she's hypocritical, and she changes her mind about things that like kind of feels real to me. It's kind of like, all right, yeah. When I was in my 20s, I was proudly decreeing everything and then changing my stance on it a few weeks later, so it feels fine. I mean, it's also fine that she gets called out. Anyway, Cody Ko was famous from Vine at the time. I watched some of those Vine compilations. Sis, he was never funny. I'm just gonna say it. Go watch one on YouTube if you feel like it. You'll be like, oh God, it's the same joke 13 times, and then something stupid, and then something stupid, and then another 13 times of that. I could do without. And I've never been a big fan of him, but I have seen him. Like, I've seen him and Danny Gonzalez videos. I thought they were funny when I saw the ones that I saw, but I couldn't get through more than 1 or 2 of them because it's like the same thing every time. Not a lot of variety in that commentary, if you ask me. Not that I'm Mr. New Things all the time, but that's because I'm they, them things all the time. Sorry, I hear how it sounds. Anyway, Tana was up and coming and trending, so Cody Ko, collaborations were huge at the time. VidCon, all of that stuff was in its prime, golden age. So Cody and Tana worked on this and a few other collaborations together, and although we've never gotten specific dates, actually we do. We know it's around VidCon of this year, so I don't know, was that February, December? It doesn't matter. It was in Florida, where time stands still. Either way, people did the math. They know that he's 25, she's still 17, and this is around the time that they would have hooked up, and that's what she revealed on her podcast from this very bad YouTube video. Let's watch.
What's up, guys? It's Tana Mongeau, and I'm here with Tana. Now the camera's on, you're not gonna laugh at my jokes.
Uh-oh, looks like Tana just realized how unfunny Cody Ko is. Now he's got to trade her in for a younger model. It's gonna be an issue for him because most 16-year-olds can't sign themselves out of high school early without a parent. That's a senior year privilege. Please don't be mad at Tana, Captain Haircut. I'm sure she and the rest of us watching at home would love to laugh at the amusing, fully developed joke that you just told, as soon as we can actually identify it in the sentence. I know, we must be stupid, basic even though you're the one dressed like an LL Bean mannequin. So help us at home understand the mechanics of your comedy genius. We're gonna look at the transcript of everything you just said, and if you could just select any of the words that you feel comprise the joke you allegedly told. Oh, it was just saying her name a little differently at the end there? Surely it's more than that, right? Let's take a look at the nonverbals, the punctuation. God, no, there's nothing unironically funny in there. Damn it, Cody. I thought this exercise would be more successful if I formatted it like a final exam. Just because the way that you look and you are makes me feel like being an undergraduate student in the 2010s was a culturally significant period of influence for you. Seems like you long for those days to come back. Anyway, we are 2 seconds into this video, and so far we've seen Cody demonstrate that he doesn't know what a joke is or how to make one, and also that he is not above guilt-tripping women who do not behave the way that he wants or expects them to. God, is there any way I can use my powers of influence over all of you to convince the rest of the world that tar and feathering is trending for fall? Because that feels like a fun, old-timey way to bring this guy to some justice. You know, just in case his DJ residency at a luxury resort in Las Vegas isn't enough to teach him his lesson, because that's pretty rough too. He's gonna be so sick of the club sandwich that they serve at the pool bar by the end of the summer, and only then will he stop the youth of America. So Cody and Tana have this kind of banter back and forth throughout the entire video of nothing. That's the only thing they seem to accomplish, which is boring for one, but also disturbing because we know that this is essentially their foreplay. I hate to say that because she's a child, she's 17 at the time, but this is what she told us. This is not a judgment on Tana whatsoever because again, childhood. It's really shameful though for Cody Ko to be hooking up with someone that much younger than him at that particular period of life where our brains are undeveloped at 17, but we are very much so video fully developed by 25 according to science. I could not imagine even spending more than 5 seconds with a 17-year-old. When I was 25, I remember I worked at a beauty supply store when I was 25. This 17-year-old kid would come in after school, and I was like, oh my God, this kid is such a baby, and I'm gonna impart such wisdom on him. But like, that was like telling him not to like around with crystal meth. That's the most I could have offered. But Tana and him do flirt throughout this whole video, and it's like up to the adult in the situation to not respond, to shut that down. We don't see that. In fact, we see something else. We see what he sees.
All right, so
Tana, sweetie, we need you to remain seated, otherwise the camera starts to autofocus on those plants behind you. And Cody Co starts to autofocus on the back of your miniskirt while you walk away, and it makes for an uncomfortable viewing experience for everyone, okay? Why are people so nostalgic for 2016 YouTube again? Like, which part do you miss? How the videos were boring? Or how they made thousands of dollars for the scummy people who created them? Like, look at what we're watching right now. The most uneasy, flirtatious banter between two of YouTube's most popular anti-influencers. So edgy. And young people were just exposed to this in the audience thinking this was completely normal. They were like, those two will never get along. Are you team American Apparel pervert or team the racist teenager he's trying to f? Let me know your answer in the comments. It's like, well, I guess I'm team hashtag racist teenager, but I hate that those are my only two options. I would love to be on team calling her legal guardian to come pick her up, hashtag. Like, I would argue we don't actually miss the old YouTube. We just miss how simple life seemed to be back before our prefrontal cortex was developed. You'll notice this is a shorter video than usual because time is money, and I don't like spending my time or money on things that suck. In fact, sometimes the only way I can make it through watching this kind of content is if I distract my brain for a little bit by taking breaks in between. And since time is money, I can make extra use of that time by earning a chunk of extra cash while playing mobile games and testing out apps using the sponsor of today's video, Free Cash. Free Cash is an online platform where people all over the world are earning extra money by playing mobile games or testing apps from brands, completing surveys, trying new fintech apps if you're into like crypto and stuff. And it took me almost no time at all to start earning extra money with Free Cash. I just went over to freecash.com and signed up using my Google account. You can use any email or your Steam account. Then, like me, you just select which devices you want to test out these apps on. That's gonna help determine which offers you're given. As you can see here, people earn up to $311.13 per offer. For example, Netflix for starting a 1-month free trial, or TikTok for signing up. You can make $2. My first offer was playing Dice Dreams on iOS, a mobile game that, you know, wasn't boring to play. I had fun experiencing it. And for every little task on the list, I earned some more cash. 5 cents for completing the tutorial, 10 cents for reaching Kingdom 2, $1 for reaching Kingdom 13, all the way up to that maximum earning. For your first cash out, there's a $20 minimum, but after that, you can cash out at any time. You can send this money straight to your bank account or PayPal, or if you prefer gift cards, you've got Apple, you've got Visa, you've got Google Play. I only played for a few minutes before I had a balance that I was like, wow, I can't believe I made that much money playing a game. It takes the average user 17 minutes and 16 seconds before they're able to make their first cash out. These are some of the highest payouts on the internet. It works because these app developers want people to get introduced to their mobile games and such. So every time Free Cash connects a user with a new app and that user completes certain actions, the app developer pays Free Cash a commission, and Free Cash shares that commission with you. When you first sign up, you'll be in light mode, which means you'll see select offers, and after level 20, which means you've cashed out at least $20 from your tasks, you'll get to access all of the offers on the website, giving you thousands of choices so you're never stuck playing some game or app that you wouldn't normally be interested in, as well as cool features like the affiliate program and their leaderboard. It's so exciting that I get to actually cash out this money right now, and bam, it's in my account. How often do you just get free cash for playing games and answering surveys? And it's therefore helping me earn cash in my spare time. So if you want to earn money by playing mobile games and testing out apps like me, then sign up for Free Cash via the link in my description for a $5 bonus on your first offer. And you can start earning money right away, baby. Thank you so much, Free Cash, for sponsoring today's video and helping me make use of my brain when it's being rotted by horrible things like this. And we can't pretend that Cody's white male privilege didn't have anything to do with his success on YouTube and on Vine. The same goes for Logan Paul, Jake Paul, Cameron Dallas, David Dobrik, just some pale, conventionally attractive assholes who watched Comedy Central a few times and then built a fan base of mostly young girls who latched onto them because they felt familiar, like the goofy, charismatic best friend of your older brother who's known you since you were 12 and then still tried to kiss you at high school parties for some reason. Plus, they have those pasty, all-American faces like you would see on a sitcom or an Abercrombie & Fitch shopping bag or in a police sketch behind the security desk of every freshman dorm in America. If you heed one warning from watching my channel, let it be this: never, ever, ever laugh at an unfunny boy. It only gives them more power, and it makes their weird hairstyles even floppier, and it gets them signed with Hollywood talent agents who think this is what young people are into. You wanna know who should really be getting over 1 million followers on TikTok? Riding a bike outside. Who should be offered movie deals with Netflix? Reading a book for fun. Who should have the power and authority to groom minors? Actually, there's no good answer to that one. Probably like dentists? Anyway, Tana had been tweeting at Cody Co since she was literally like 14 or 15, being like, he's my favorite YouTuber, which I don't think was lost on Cody. If that were me, I would be like, this is a person who feels an undue sense of influence from me. They will do more than the average person to please me. And I would see that as an uncomfortable thing that I would probably shy away from spending much time with them. Like, I don't want that. But Cody sees it as a reason to buddy up with her and continue this, like, we are such enemies, but we're really secretly back to back having our shoulders like this, being like during the promo of the show that is our lives. I spend a lot of time in my inner world, I'm realizing.
We were originally gonna like actually film a video, but then we realized that there's nothing we could do that would genuinely like we're not friends, you know?
This is our managers.
Yeah.
I mean, our people, my people got in touch with her people.
Yeah.
FBI, we've got him. He just confessed on camera that they've touched each other's pee holes. It's true, I have a whole online audience here who witnessed the same thing, and they are all willing to take the stand in order to get these YouTubers to stop thinking that they can manipulate their followers into doing or saying anything regardless of the legalities. Oh, I need you guys to lie under oath for me, okay? Please? It's the only way I can trust you enough to let you into my special private Facebook group called Nick's Perjury Peeps. You'll get access to exclusive benefits, such as paying my legal fees. Yep, I'm still here. That's right, my fellow witnesses are willing to say pee hole in a court of law. I don't know why anyone would, I guess young people have a lot of time, but this is the most boring thing I've ever had to sit through. If it weren't for the subtext of the situation that Tana's in right now, I would not even be able to sit through this while sobbing, like waiting for death.
Talk about why you hate low-key. Every time I say low-key, he like rolls his eyes.
Because it doesn't mean anything. Low-key doesn't add anything. You could add any sentence where someone uses low-key, take that out, and it means the exact same thing. So it's just like, it's just filler. It's just like taking up space in the sentence.
We need to be low-key because the cops are here.
Oh, that example just got a little too real for Cody the cradle robber over here. He's like, but wait, you didn't really tell the cops we were hanging out alone together, did you? I think I see what Cody was going for in this rant about teen slang. That was supposed to be funny, right? Yikes. Cody serves as a good reminder that if Jerry Seinfeld were unable to find a punchline in all of his observational humor, he would just be some smarmy asshole that women later regretted sleeping with. And he kind of is. And so is Cody. They're friends. Speaking of Seinfeld and his own history of age gap relationships, it's something Cody clearly knew about, and that came up often on his podcast, which he had with somebody named Noel, who brought up R. Kelly in the podcast, dating Aaliyah when she was 16 and how creepy that was. And lots of times he talks about older men dating underage girls, and it makes Cody so visibly uncomfortable. And he did the same with Jerry Seinfeld, because apparently Jerry Seinfeld dated a much younger woman.
Well, Seinfeld got away with it.
Yeah.
I was just kind of sitting there, like, reading, like, just one of those tweets, and I'm like, how is it that, like, when people get rich, like, that's, like, top 5 things they get caught doing?
What, dating younger people?
Just assaulting children, or, like, just, like, I mean, that's, like...
Not one friend saying dating younger woman and the other one calling it assaulting children. Oh, tomato, tomato, let's call the whole thing off. I'm worried that Cody clearly thinks of himself as a comedian, but so far he hasn't really seemed capable of landing any jokes. Neither with me, nor with the child that he's unfortunately flirting with. And it should be a pretty easy crowd. Kids laugh at anything. And I've been feeling pretty giggly myself, thanks to the nitrous oxide I've been huffing in between takes. Don't worry, it's not about getting high. I'm actually performing some dental work on myself after this. The real dentist refuses to examine my mouth anymore because I keep locking eyes with him and gently suckling on his fingers. But some guys are into that. What do you want? How am I to know? The point is, Cody is just once again proving that not only does he not know how comedy works, but he's also not really getting the point of adjectives. When youths say low-key, it means discreetly or secretly or from a place of reduced emotional investment. How is that not adding anything to the sentence? It's literally adding a description to the verb. Tana, I'm sorry to say it, but from the looks of it, you have the most incompetent English tutor ever. ever. And it's also super unprofessional that he has a visible erection right now. Gotta go through an agency for those types of things. Oh, he's your friend. Oh no. And of course, in people's digging up Cody's past, they've found other problematic clips like his vlogs where he features other girls who are very young, or at least around Tana's age at the time. This young woman is known to be 19 at the time, but she had been appearing in vlogs like 2 years prior to that. And the conversation is way too sexual with her. I'm just saying. But from all of these guys, like him and his friends.
Already kill Cody right now, Cody 1 year ago, Cody 2 years ago.
Damn it. Alright, I'm gonna kill Cody now.
Okay.
It's like a serious
I'll
question.
marry Cody when like 3 years ago, like when he wasn't like well known, you
Nice.
know? And like probably him like the 2 year ago Cody, you know what I mean?
Okay, I have to say, this friend group is weird. First of all, the boy to girl ratio is stressing me out. I feel like this young lady is getting conversationally gang. Also, like I said, I know from Reddit that she was barely 19 at the time that this was shot, while Cody and his friends were all postgraduate mid-20-somethings. She has more in common with a high school freshman than she does with these dudes who go and play golf and take supplements to support a healthy prostate. The 5 years between 19 and 24 might not seem like much, but in terms of brain development, it's actually a difference between someone who thinks like a child and an adult who understands how much undue influence they can exert over girls and women who are still maturing. What is it about young women with a less defined sense of self that Cody is so attracted to? There's obviously the opportunity on the surface level for sexual coercion, but I think the more high level motive is for control. Cody wants to change the way these young women begin to think about themselves in the world by implanting his stupid little opinions in their brain while their neural pathways are still plastic. That way he can spread his privileged, cishet, white male perspective to as many people around him as possible, because we live in a society where people like Cody and other men are taught to command, conquer, and colonize from a young age, as though they have some inherent right to this planet that the rest of us don't. Psychologists say that sex crimes are rarely about the actual physical satisfaction of having sex with somebody, and more about exerting control over another person, making them question their own right to humanity and equality and respect. And I think people like Cody, who habitually seek out romantic encounters with people from earlier stages of brain development, get that same sense of power from these inappropriate relationships. I think that it's something deep-rooted and ugly and dark within him that he really needs to work on. And so does anyone who romantically attracted to much younger people. Just gonna say it. And can we talk about the frat boy fashion? Oh, I could lose my mind.
Looks like we got a shipment of shoes in the mail. Looks like I will be getting bullied no longer. Let's see what we got. Okay. Oh, damn. Oh, okay. We got the gray desert boots. Yeah, I'm feeling these too. What do we got here? Okay.
Somehow this is the most disturbing part of the whole situation. This is the kind of shoe game that people get when they grow up in a demographic that doesn't have to worry about hate crimes. He really found one style of shoe that makes him feel a little less insecure about his itty bitty baby feet, and he said, add to cart in every color, Kimosabe. Doesn't that just sound like something he would say? You know it does. He would say something like that. Cody Co, just embrace the fact that you have tiny little tootsies. It's very demure, very cutesy. You don't need to wear all the weird shoes. I mean, I have size 12 feet, and if I wear heavy-soled shoes, it feels like I'm walking around with literal monster truck tires on my feet. I have to step ever so gingerly so as not to disturb the Earth's aquifer, or I could drain the entire community of its groundwater. Very mindful. What did Cody just call the shoes? He said desert boots, I'm pretty sure. No, mama, those are Pinocchio shoes. They're the ones that make you look like you need a little puppet master to make you do a dance on the pier. Whenever you go outside in those, I bet you the puppets, Mr. Geppetto, Germany Cricket. I bet your feet look stupid, is what I'm trying to say. I don't have the full fairy tale in my head when I'm trying to make that point. I've never really watched a full video from Cody Co. Something about him always just makes me feel unwelcome. He reminds me of those awful guys my best girlfriends in college used to date. The guys who would prove that they didn't have any problem with gay people by refusing to acknowledge we exist. They wouldn't say more than 2 words to you and I'd be like, I think your boyfriend hates me. No, Brandon totally doesn't care that you're gay. That's why he hasn't looked at you in the eye or bothered to learn your name. He actually has a gay uncle that his family doesn't talk to, so the fact that I have a gay best friend means nothing to him. In fact, on the ride over, he said he doesn't care whether you live or die. And I'm just like, oh, okay, how sweet. Though he's not actively bashing me, I just have to accept it as love. Okay. If I had watched more of Cody Co's content back when people liked him, I wonder if I would have picked up on his strong East Coast frat boy vibe, which I'm pretty sure is what he majored in over there at Duke University. America's #1 dream school for terrifying white boys who want institutionalized protection from the consequences of life. That's why I realize now he acts and dresses like such a preppy little bad boy douchebag who thinks he's a rebel because he says the word in front of his teachers. Those awful clothes are his uniform. In fact, is this a sponsorship? Because I'm pretty sure those shoes are the official footwear of sticking by your best friend throughout his trial. None of that police report or what that woman said matters to you? Okay. He's like, hey man, it's called friendship. blind, enabling, self-preserving friendship. So I believe Colby when he says he didn't do it. None of us were there that night, and it's all just based on the hearsay of some little girl and the video he recorded and showed us all of the act the next day. So, yeah. I'm referring, of course, to Colby Leachman, who was a fraternity brother and best friend of Cody Co, to the point where he was the best man at Cody's wedding. While they were at Duke University, Colby was accused by a young woman of assaulting and drugging this person. Ultimately, the school did not really take much action against Colby except for the non-consensual filming of the act. Again, it was on camera, that's known. You can hear her verbally saying that she not consenting to it in the tape, and yet the school says that they would not have enough evidence to legally pursue action. So a year or so later, this student who has had to leave Duke University because of the stress of this all sues the school for not taking the appropriate action. And that's where we get all of this information about the case itself. Cody knew Colby during this time of this trial where he was implicated in being one of the two people who committed this act against this woman. And although it was the school that was up for trial, he's known as a videotaped recorded attacker in this whole thing. And you have to wonder if it's academic probation that resulted from it and the fact that he got very little repercussions. He wasn't the one who had to leave Duke University. You wonder if it has anything to do with the fact that his father had a position at Duke University up higher than the dean. He's the provost. Schools are so weird with their Latin shit, by the way, but the attack took place in his father's home, partially. And anyway, Colby, the accused attacker, continues to appear in Cody's vlogs throughout this period of time. We don't know if Cody saw the tape, but he showed some, but not all of the people in his fraternity. Either way, Cody would have known that this was happening, and he had to make the judgment call of still including this person in his life and in all of his content. It makes me ill. But I did not want to include clips of Colby because this is really, I don't think he needs any more press than he's already getting, except to say that I stand with victims of sexual violence, and I believe when they tell us their stories, and I hope that that victim is getting all of the help she needs to live a happy and fulfilling life, healing from this horrible person and the unjust system that allows them to move on with their lives after committing such heinous acts. So that's a weirdly sad note to end this one. Let's talk about Britney Spears for a second. I love that's sad too. Damn it. Life. All right, let's just wrap it up. I gotta hit the road. You guys are all the greatest. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this Cody Co situation. I know that there's lots of shades of gray in there. People are on one side or the other. I know where I stand, but I would love to hear your thoughts as well, so let me know. Also, give this video a big thumbs up if you want to talk about even more sensitive issues like this. Don't demonetize me, YouTube. I won't even say that. Also, most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right over here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload them and then you will get the notification if you press the notification bell. Also, I've got Patreon. I'm so glad to have most of you back there on Patreon for all of the fun times and virtual watch parties and other exclusive content. And like I said, check out DiRamio.com for a new slew of merch and an even more hyper branded feel. You guys are all the greatest. Thank you so much for not letting my love to go to waste. When I see you in the next video.